Hi, welcome to Gardenville.tv. We're talking this afternoon to Cameo Wood, who is an entrepreneur in Silicon Valley, and she has come to Ireland to trace her roots, and we're in County Galway at the moment. So, first of all, welcome to Ireland.
Thank you so much. I've had a fantastic time so far. I've been here about 4 days and everyone has been so welcoming. It's a pleasure.
I suppose the first question people would be wondering is, for somebody coming from America, what did you think in your head Ireland would be like?
Actually, I hate to say it, but I actually expected it to be just about how it is. It's beautiful, it's green, it's steeped in culture, and everyone is generous and kind. And I think, if anything, people have been even more welcoming than I could have imagined. Anywhere you look, there's some culture and there's some history. And we've been to places that have no signs, are in no guidebook, and yet they are, incredibly old and really fascinating. And that's one thing that has surprised me, is that a lot of these things just are on no map. And that's been really fascinating and interesting, that all these hidden treasures.
Now, tracing your roots, I mean, that's an extraordinary journey to go on, and not an easy journey to find all the information.
Absolutely. So I only recently began tracing my roots, and I sort of got stuck when I noticed that some of my relatives had come from Ireland, and I only knew that they had gone on a boat from Ireland. I didn't know where they had lived or anything. And there is a cemetery not far from here, the Killinan graveyard here in Kilcreast in County Galway. And it had been overrun by trees, and it was unvisitable. And the owner of the garden that we're currently in, she was part of a heritage group that cleaned out the whole cemetery and actually made it visitable. And only then was the headstone of my ancestor discovered. So it was actually something that was totally undocumented that she found for me. So that was pretty cool.
Well, we're at Woodville Walled Garden at the moment, which is absolutely just sensational, isn't it? Just so peaceful. And I know Margarita was the lady who contacted you and said, you know what, we think we've got a contact for you in Ireland, your heritage.
Yes, so in January of this year, 2011, I got an email from the owner of these gardens, and she contacted me and let me know that she had found the headstone of my great-great-great-grandfather and grandmother, and that while doing research about the Lady Gregory, she believed that my relative was actually the gardener of the nearby Roxborough estate, which was Lady Gregory's childhood home. So that was really wonderful that she, as a gardener, had found my gardener ancestor.
Now, what does that mean for somebody who lives in California? What does that really mean to you inside, to have that strong connection with Ireland?
Actually, it's even stronger. The connection to Ireland is even stronger than you might expect, because not only were they gardeners right here in this neighborhood, but they also died in New York, in America, and they asked their children to be brought back here to Ireland to be buried. And so that's even more interesting. It's not just that they had spent time here and that they grew up here, but also that they asked to be brought all the way back across the Atlantic for their final rest. And I think that's pretty interesting and important.
So what have you discovered about your ancestors since you've arrived?
Well, I have very, very little expectation to find anything new about my ancestors since arriving. And what I have learned is that some people, everyone I meet, I give them the information, and someone's actually come back and found someone with the same name who lived here in Kilcreast who might be a relation, so that's good. And I actually got some first names for the people that were buried here in the Killinan graveyard. So now I have a couple more stepping stones to try to trace even further back. But I do know that they probably weren't born here in County Galway, that they were born somewhere else. So that means that my next trip here to Ireland probably won't be focused here in Galway as it is right now, but maybe focused somewhere else.
So it's a fantastic adventure to be going on, isn't it? To discover that there's other places in Ireland which are going to be very special for you as well.
Yes, certainly one thing that was interesting about my relatives with regard to this trek across Ireland is that they didn't just have their children here in Kilcreast. My great my great-great-grandfather, he actually had his first child here in Kilcreast, his second child in America, and his third child in County Meath, at a castle, Scaring Castle, and then came back to Kilcreast and then had his last children in America. So none of his children consecutively were born in the same place. So he was a real traveler, and he also was involved in the Second Boer War. So he was also over in Africa. So definitely a lot of travel.
So, and what an adventure for you. And this is going to be many years of enjoyment coming back and finding your roots. Can you just finish up and tell us, what does this all mean for you for today?
I think one thing I want to take away from this trip is I have lots of cousins, no brothers and sisters, but lots of cousins who now have children, and none of us knew that we had any Irish heritage. So this was all a very new discovery in the last few months. And part of what I'm doing as this part of this trip is to learn as much as I can and to pave the way for my family to come back and visit it and have some sort of sense of belonging. Because as Americans, we all know that we have diverse heritage, and most of the time we don't even know what the heritage is. So this is my gift to my cousins and their children.
Well, Cameo Wood, welcome home, and many thanks for talking to us this afternoon at gardenville.tv.
Thank you very much.